Hello, in this video I'll show you a few more brushes and then I'll show you how you can begin splitting your geometry off into separate subtools for more advanced hard surface sculpting. So I'll just use clay build-up and make a few more little details here. Alright, now the next important brush is planar. And what this brush does is when you click by default, it will remove all geometry higher than the starting point. So for example, if I click right here, nothing is really happening because there is no geometry higher than this point. But if I, for example, click right here, notice how it removes all the geometry that is higher. It looks at the position and angle of this point and removes everything above. So it's very great for getting these kinds of flat surfaces. Now if you hold down Alt as you click, it will bring up any geometry that's lower than this point. So clicking will remove, and Alt clicking will bring the other geometry up. I can increase the size here, there we go. And now it's bringing everything up. So you can combine this with brushes such as H-Polish and Smooth. I can also try it around here, hold down Alt, click, and notice how it just kind of brings the geometry up. And that brings us to our next tool, Dynamesh. So as you perform various operations, the geometry here will become highly stretched. It becomes necessary to add Dynamesh to get rid of this stretch topology. So I can simply scroll down here, Dynamesh. It's hard to activate because I started with this project right here, which starts with Dynamesh on. But if it's not on, you can simply open this up and activate Dynamesh. And what this does is quickly retopologizes the mesh to get rid of any stretched geometry. You can also turn the blur down to 0. Now in order to read Dynamesh, all you have to do is hold Control and make an empty selection here. But notice it's not doing anything. That's because you need to make at least one change in order to read Dynamesh. So if I use Trim Dynamic and make a single change here, I can now hold the Control and now it will read Dynamesh. The density of your mesh depends on the resolution setting right here. So when you are first starting out, you can have a lower resolution, and once you want more crisp details, you can increase this. So I will try 128. If I read Dynamesh, nothing happens. I have to make a single change, and now I can read Dynamesh. And now we have more resolution to work with. And now let's learn how we can divide our mesh into multiple subtools. So I'll just change to Clay Buildup, and just do some basic sculpting here. I can use the Move brush as well. So now I've got the simple mesh here, and now I'll hold down Control and mask the area that I want to split off. So I'll simply mask this area here. And in order to make it easier to see where the masked area is, you can see as I rotate around we get different highlights and shadows, which makes it difficult to see. I can simply switch the material to something like chalk, and now it's a lot easier to see where exactly the mask is. So I can simply go here and mask off this area. I can also hold down Control and increase the Z intensity and decrease the focal shift. Now that this geometry has been masked, I can press Ctrl W to turn this into a separate polygroup. Then I can go under Split and Group Split. I can also simply use Split Masked Points or Split Unmasked Points. So I'll just use Split Unmasked Points. And now I have two different subtools. So now what I can do is press this I to isolate. I can also turn on double, which is found right here under display properties. So what you can do is set your most used commands to be up here or somewhere else around the window. In order to activate that, go into Preferences, Config, Enable Customize, and now what you can do is hold down Ctrl and Alt and click and drag any button You can put it on your window here. If you want to remove it, simply hold down Control Alt, click and drag, and somewhere here, and it will disappear. Once you're done, you can go back into Preferences and turn off Enable Customize. So you can see I've got some basic commands here such as delete, delete hidden, delete lower, double, mirror and weld, and split unmasked points. But now that I've got this geometry separate, I can switch between these subtools by simply clicking or by pressing the up and down arrow keys. I can turn on double here as well. And now what I can do is go under Masking, Mask by Features. I can turn off Groups and Crease and just leave Border. And when I press Mask by Features, the border of this geometry will be masked. You can see we have a mask here. Now what I can do is hold down Control and click to invert the mask. I can press W to switch to the Move tool and set the transpose line right here. And now I can hover over the center here, click on this white circle, and just move this back. And now I can move over here, create a new line, and kind of move this back here. Alright, now I can press Q to go back into draw mode. Hold down Control and make an empty selection to get rid of the mask. Now when you split off geometry, it still has Dynamesh on. So all I need to do now is hold down Control and make another empty selection to Dynamesh this. And now I have a separate subtool, and it's a solid object. You can see here, because the geometry is close together, Dynamesh will connect them. So there are two ways to fix this. First of all, I can press Ctrl Z to undo. I can use the Move tool just to move this a little bit to the left and re-Dynamesh, and now it's no longer happening. What I can also do before Dynameshing is to press X to turn off symmetry, and I can hold Ctrl Shift and make sure that Select Lasso is on, and I can isolate this area. And now I can go into Delete Hidden to delete all the geometry on the right here, and now I can simply re-Dynamesh, and that other geometry will no longer be an issue. I'll press Ctrl Z a few times. A third way to fix this is to go into Polygroups and activate Auto Groups. What this will do is analyze the structure of the mesh, and every separate piece of geometry will get a separate polygroup. Now I can simply hold down Ctrl Shift and click to isolate this whole mesh. Once again, delete hidden, and Control, make an empty selection to Dynamesh, and Control W to make it one polygroup. I will change materials, and now I can use H polish and other brushes to refine this and get this very nice sharp result here. Here I'm holding down Alt. With H polish, I also find it helps to increase the focal shift. So by default it's in the negatives, but if you make it positive, I think you get a much better result. So here I'm holding down Alt, and now I can let go of Alt and also work up here. So you can use this to quickly polish up your mesh. Now one thing you may notice is that when geometry is relatively thin, it will start affecting the other side as well. So I'll press Ctrl Z. So what I will do is go under Brush, Auto Masking, and Back Face Mask. And this will prevent your current brush from affecting the faces on the back. As you can see, that effect is no longer happening. So after Dynamesh close up the hole, we get this really nasty jagged edge here. In order to solve this, you can use the pinch brush, and once again I've increased the focal shift, so you can pinch and then smooth. As you can see, it fixes that problem. You can see right here we've got this geometry sticking out, so let's try pinching, smooth, pinch, smooth. There we go. So this is a very nice way of getting rid of these jagged edges here. And now in order to create the piece on the opposite side, I can simply use Mirror and Weld, which by default is found right here under Modify Topology, mirror and weld. Now, mirror and weld only works from left to right, so if I click on it now, notice nothing really happens. So let's say I want an object on the right to go to the left. You can simply go under deformation, and first you can mirror it, and then you can click on mirror and weld. And there we are. So now I can continue to work on this object and add further detail. I can press X here to activate symmetry. And at this point I can perhaps even turn off Dynamesh and just subdivide this using Ctrl D and just continue working here. And once you've created a mask, you can hold down Ctrl and click. You can go under deformation and inflate negatively to get this nice indentation here. I can also use the move, scale, and rotate tools as well. That's W, E, R. So I'll just try using rotate, and I'll just click and drag right here and let it go. And now I can just rotate this out like so. You can get some really nice effects this way. So there we go. Now I can press Q to go back into draw mode. And the reason I get these little pieces right here is because the mask was imperfect in some areas. So we can fix this by using H polish or simply using the smooth brush. And now I can clear the mask. And there we go. Maybe smooth this out a little bit. As you can see, get this really nice complex hard surface detail. And now I can use this custom brush called Drag Brush, which uses drag rectangle, and this alpha, which is available by default. I can add further details here. In order to create your own custom brush, you can start with something like the standard brush. Now you can switch the stroke type here. Maybe select the default alpha. Now you can press B, Save As, navigate to your ZBrush main folder, Z Startup, Brush Presets, save your brush there, and it'll be available by default. Then you can set it to a hotkey and begin using it. And using alphas is one of the quickest ways to get these nice hard surface details.
Thank you for watching and take care.